Enough. What's going on, everybody? Live before lock. Monday, new week. Jake, 7-game slate. And it's kind of a fun one. There's just like an overwhelming amount of offense. No pitchers that you like are really happy about getting. You know, like a day where Eduardo Rodriguez is 45% owned is not a day where you're super excited. Drew Pomeranz with the second most ownership. It's going to be a hell of a day.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of ownership, we just got an update.
Boom.
Right as you said we were starting.
I spoke it into existence.
You did. And also projections. There you go.
Look at that.
16 seconds ago. So we are locked and loaded.
I'm also going to win all of the money today since I seem to be just nailing it.
Ooh, something interesting to talk about right off the bat that changed. The postponement risk in Cleveland
is now what?
It has gone down.
From to what?
It was at 25. It's now at 5.
Okay.
So that's actually huge for me because that's gonna
Adam Plutko fan.
No, just gonna have a lot of Lindor and probably Jose Ramirez now. When I wasn't getting to like any of them when I crunched when it was 25%.
Okay, gotcha. So that's good. Worrying about that Cleveland game was not something that I really wanted to do. I will say that ownership did not really move all that much on Eduardo Rodriguez and Drew Pomeranz. They are still 1-2 in ownership. So let's start there. How do you feel about the Eduardo Rodriguez ownership? How do you feel about the Drew Pomeranz ownership? Because one of those makes sense to me and the other one doesn't.
They kind of both make sense to me. Which one doesn't? So Erod makes sense to you?
Correct.
And who was the other guy you asked about?
Pomeranz.
Yeah, I mean, Pomeranz he hasn't been great. He's been a little bit unlucky, as the guys before us talked about. But he's 6,300 stretched out and pitching against Colorado, who's got a near 25% K rate versus lefties. And they're getting the biggest park shift, the most negative park shift you can ask for.
Yeah.
No Trevor.
I expect to have like 5% Pomeranz. I'm much more likely to get to Steven Matz or Plutko than I am to Pomeranz.
Let's see.
The real most likely scenario for me is probably having Rockies bats.
Okay. Arenado, yeah, for sure. Arenado. Who else?
Let me open it up.
Like Ian Desmond, 44, maybe?
Let me pull it up here. I mean, any of those first four, obviously. The Blackman, Desmond, Dahl, Arenado group, I'm cool with. And then, honestly, I don't mind grabbing one of those lefty. I don't really have a huge issue grabbing someone like Daniel Murphy because Drew Pomeranz throws like 4.5 innings a game. He might only face Daniel Murphy once by the time he's out of that game. And that has nothing to do with like his success. He just simply doesn't go deep into games.
Right. Real quick, you have the wrong overlay on. I'm EMAC right now.
Oh, what up? All right, I got you.
Yeah.
All fixed.
So I think that's a really quick fix, but
it is. It's already done.
All right, cool.
You don't want to be Eric today?
I think I'd be more of an Eric than EMAC is.
That's probably true. I'll just call you J-Har.
Yeah, that's a new one. I've been called a lot of different names, but not that.
So have I.
Positive and negative. But what's that?
So have I.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, all of us probably have. Who are we talking about? We were still Pomeranz?
Welcome to the show, Jake. Welcome to the show.
No, I was reading chat and they were saying, "Hey, EMAC," or "You're not EMAC," and I was like, "What are they talking about?" Then I saw the YouTube show.
Yeah, so I'm not expecting to get to an overwhelming amount of Pomeranz. 37% on this slate just feels way too high for. You know, we just have this group of pitchers that are all like, eh. I mean, Luke Giolito is the most expensive guy at 11.9, and he might as well not be on the slate. Unless you're going to tell me that you're getting like 20% Giolito somehow.
I don't even think I got to any Giolito here. Yeah, I got to none on DraftKings. On FanDuel.
Yeah, at least he's in play on FanDuel, but even still.
Yeah, solo pitcher site makes sense to at least have him somewhat in the mix, but got to zero of him as well over there.
It's a weird day, man.
It is a very weird day. So if you're not going to Pomeranz very much on the two pitcher sites, is it CC for you, or you like Greinke, Lester? Who else are you going to?
Mats for sure will have some, although I'm not happy about it. Plutko will have some.
Okay.
Mats will mostly be my floor. But I'm going to have like probably 40 to 50 of both Erod and Greinke, and that Erod-Greinke combo will be the one that I run the most.
Okay. I'm probably going to get to some Plutko now, so both Pomeranz and CC are going to come down for me, but those were kind of, well, and Mats for that matter as well, if Plutko takes away some shares. But yeah, I mean, these guys are all pretty much the same. I think Mats is kind of the best pitcher out of this group, like the best chance to have a big strikeout game.
Also a terrifying matchup in Park.
Right, that's the problem. Like he's striking out a bunch of righties this season, but you're going up against Segura, Kingery leading off. I mean, okay, but Real Muto and Hoskins, that's a pretty tough 4-5. Even Franco in the 8-hole hits lefties really well.
Yeah. And let me be clear, I like the Phillies more than I like Steven Matz. But
you too.
Just one of those. I don't think that any pitcher below Zach Greinke deserves to be 37% owned on a slate like this. I just can't see a scenario where 18% of pitching ownership should go to Drew Pomeranz. Just can't do it.
On FanDuel, he's 18?
No, on DraftKings, he's 37. I just meant, like cutting it in half.
Okay.
Just can't do it. On FanDuel, he's 23. Like, I'll probably have 1%.
Wow.
How many innings does Drew Pomeranz have to throw on FanDuel for you to be nervous for not having him?
Depends how much you like the expensive bats.
I mean, my favorite pitchers today are 8,400 and 9,100, so I don't even think it matters.
8,400 Erod and 91.
Like, if you're playing Erod, he's not. There's nothing stopping you from getting whatever you want on FanDuel, at least for your primary stack.
Well, yeah, but if you want to pay up all the way across the board, like if you want to do a Cubs-Yankees stack with a lot of the good parts of it, Pomeranz is probably your guy.
I guess.
And that's what I'm doing a lot. So,
hell, give me John Lester in that scenario.
Oh, no. Lester? He's terrible park today. Terrible matchup, just like in any park.
Sure.
It doesn't strike out righties at a great clip.
Sure.
And the Braves don't strike out.
Yeah, I'm not saying I like it.
He's got nothing going for him. Pomeranz at least has a couple things.
I'm not a Pomeranz guy, obviously.
I see that.
Your dream scenario is what? The Dodgers-Giants game from June 7th. 7 strikeouts, 3 hits, only 1 walk, no runs, but he goes 5 innings. I mean, this guy he barely faces batters.
He's not a great pitcher.
I completely agree.
Yeah. He doesn't need to be great tonight for 6,800 on FanDuel. Like FanDuel, I get not playing him just because there's not a great chance that he's even a top 2 scoring pitcher. Like,
yeah.
And you got to make that spot count. So on DraftKings, just 2 pitcher site, the dynamic pricing, I want to pay up for as many top bats tonight as I possibly can. So he's just getting squeezed in there because he also grades out as a good value. But yeah, you get the ownership with him. That's for sure.
And again, I prefer the Braves to Lester. I prefer. Who else are we talking about here? Like I don't like any of these pitchers, so I certainly don't want to be there when they're getting the ownership.
Okay.
Is there a pitcher that you actually you literally like today? I think that Erod is really like the only legit answer.
No,
relative to their price.
No, but that's what makes this slate fun.
I agree.
That's why that's why you prioritize bats and you let the pitching just fill in where it's needed, especially on DraftKings for me. So there's one stack in particular I'm going to be wildly heavy on.
I hope it's the same as mine.
I think it might be.
Please don't tell me it's certainly not the Cubs, right? Like we're both in agreement that we're not going to be anywhere near the field.
No, not unless something drastically changes. Yeah, okay. I'm near the field.
So I'm guessing that your play is. I mean, I have 3 guesses, and I know it's one of those 3. So I'm becoming very heavy on the Mets.
The Mets, okay.
Yeah. Just because the public is not.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
I assume you're going to name the Braves or the Yankees.
The Yankees.
Okay, yeah, and I completely agree with you.
On both sides, really. Like like I'm approaching hitters above 40%. They're just the best play, I think, and they're not being owned like the best play because of the greatly win game.
Yeah, for me right now, I think the Cubs, Braves, Mets, and Yankees are all pretty similar, but if the Cubs are going to be in like the 25% aggregate ownership range, I'd rather just lop half of that off and tack onto the Mets and get over there. I can't have the Cubs in a quarter of my lineups.
No, it's not like you have like a couple of Cubs that are like, your top exposed hitters that are 30%. For you to like get over the field on that, Alex made a good point too. There's only 8 hitters too. So everybody's playing all of these guys, the 8 hitters, 2,700. So everyone's going to be played very heavily 1 through 8. And I just don't think that's a very profitable long-term strategy, playing like trying to get overweight. Like I think you should have Cubs hitters in your crunches. You should have them as, maybe 4-mans, or, you can even have them as 5-mans and be a little bit different, but you're like, everyone knows the Cubs are a great play, so everyone's going to main stack them. But I'm just trying to get more 2-mans and 3-mans and win the slate elsewhere.
No, I'm with you. I was having a conversation with Adam while he was on the deeper dive, actually, about how to manage the Cubs. He was like, if I just run this crunch, they come up as my top stack, and like that's obviously not what I'm looking for. I was like, this feels like a spot where you just don't include them in the 5-man stack box and take every piece you get in any sort of mini stack combination. But
that
probably gets you to like half to 2/3 of the field just by getting them in as one-offs, 2-mans, 3-mans, but just not 5-mans.
Yeah, so I think I'm capping low enough, and my priority is on ownership high enough that they're just getting filtered out for me after I take out all the like crazy, 230% total ownership lineups. I just take those off anyways.
Yeah.
But like once I filter down and, I'm looking for kind of middling ownership and high-ish projection, but not the highest projected, like Alex always talks about, they're getting squeezed out for me, which is basically exactly what I wanted to see. Like right now on DraftKings, I have my highest Cub is Chris Bryant at 25%. That's still 5.7% below the field. And it's like, yeah, I have a lot of Cubs, but I'm not going to play 35, 40, 50% of any of their hitters, because it's just, there's a team that I think is just better straight up than them. And Vegas says is better straight up than them.
Yeah. When I ran like a dummy crunch when I was talking to Adam to just run off like 355 twos just to see where I was coming in. And just using all of my base settings, I was getting like 60% of the field for the Cubs. So if they were at 25% aggregate, I was getting something in like the 12, 13 range. And I was like, okay, perfect. That's exactly where I want to be. I'll redistribute that elsewhere. Because we clearly want exposure to them. They're a fantastic play today. No, I don't think anybody's disagreeing there. They're just overowned.
Right.
They make for a hell of a filler for cash lineups, that's for sure.
Oh, so cash. I'm playing some cash tonight. I've been trying to play it more and more, just low dollar stuff, and I have 4 Cubs in cash.
Yeah.
So
probably is it Schwarber, Bryant, Rizzo, Baez? Because that fits real nice.
I think it's
maybe Wilson Contreras if you're trying to get the catcher, but
you had the right ones. Yeah. Schwarber, Rizzo, Bryant, Baez.
When you're good, you're good.
I just basically took the highest projected lineup. Guess who else is in there?
Ronald Acuna.
Well, yeah, but your favorite pitcher tonight.
Pomeranz.
Yeah, Pomeranz.
I'm willing to be wrong there, obviously.
I mean, that's a huge stand. Like that, even if the Cubs stack goes off, like, and you have a few of them. I'm talking like if you, Josh, have a few of them, but you don't have Pomeranz, you're going to be way different. Not way different, but you're going to be a lot different than a lot of the people who play the Cubs.
What would you say the score is that Pomeranz would need where you're like, shit, I wish I had him?
On DraftKings, like 20.
Okay.
Because I think CC could get to 20. I think Plutko, now that the weather is turning around, I think that's in his range of outcomes. I think Matt's is as well.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's the only guy in that range, and there's no one within 1,500 of him either way. So that makes sense.
Yeah. Now I will be giving this all when I ran that crunch. This was previous to loading in anything from Alex, so he does have Pomeranz projected really well. That is going to pull me up a little bit. Mm-hmm. But I think that like that Sabathia, Plutko, Matz, Pomeranz area, they all have like a 2% chance of hitting their target for me. And what the real difference is, it's like 1.5 to 2.9, which is basically nothing. This is, I don't expect any of those guys to be getting over 20. The more likely scenario is not one of those four guys do it. And if that's the case, then I just don't want to be with the guy that's 37% owned.
Right.
I understand why he is. I mean, pitching in San Francisco is fantastic. Getting the Rockies there is fantastic. Just, I don't know, 37%? Drew Pomeranz? Really? Can't do it.
Seems wild. So if you account for leverage on this slate, and you obviously do, but if the audience does, and you don't believe in Pomeranz, or you just want to, like, if you're playing a Cub stack, you could play one of these other guys in the 6K range, Plutko, if you think the weather's going to be okay, and like put in an Arenado Desmond mini stack or something. I don't think you need a full stack against him.
Right. Oh yeah, like it's not as if I think the Rockies are a good play today.
No, but that's massive leverage on a guy that is not great.
See, I'm happy just using the leverage of not being on Pomeranz.
Yeah, there's that too.
It's not like the Rockies we should be expecting big things from the Rocks here, one way or the other. I mean, Pomeranz gives up bombs, but it's San Francisco. Not a lot of bombs to be had.
Right. I think it's more than enough leverage, like just not playing a lot of Pomeranz. So just by nature of getting someone different in there, you're going to get a lot of differentiation. But if you wanted to take that next step and play Arenado versus a lefty, a 40% owned lefty, then it seems like a pretty decent night to do that.
Any pitchers slipping through the cracks for you that don't seem to be owned as much as you would have expected?
Not really. I kind of expected Erod to be my guy, then Pomeranz, CC, Gray, Matz, Greinke on DraftKings right now. On FanDuel, and then I don't have anyone else above 2% besides those guys.
Okay.
On FanDuel, well, I got to recrunch with Cleveland bats now in and everything. And
Giants lineup is out. I don't know if you know that or not.
Yeah, I saw that one. I think we got a projections update for that.
Okay.
I got no Mats on FanDuel. Does that seem weird?
I'm adding the Giants lineup in here now, and then I'll take a look. That doesn't seem crazy to me, but I'm also just going off the top of my head instead of actually looking at anything right now. Okay.
7,700 for Mats. Me and Adam talked about him being a solid play on DraftKings and Yahoo this morning. I guess I didn't really take a long look at Mats' price, but that kind of makes sense when you've got CC for 6,500 and Pomeranz, who I'm playing a good amount of at what is he at 68? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see the need to get to Mats. He's not owned on FanDuel. I would imagine the large majority, if not all, of my exposure will be from Erod up.
What about Brad Keller? You getting any Brad Keller?
He's probably my least favorite pitcher today.
he would be definitely one of the.
Sorry, I forgot Aaron Sanchez was on this slate.
Right.
It's Aaron Sanchez, then it's Brad Keller.
On a different slate, I would play some Aaron Sanchez. Here, I am very excited that I got to 0 on both DraftKings and FanDuel.
Yeah, 4,500. What happened to him being decent?
I don't know. People have thought he's turned it around, and he has not turned it around at all. You know what's funny also about this slate is we have a 10-4 Clayton Kershaw against a team with the 4 implied total, one of the lowest on the slate, and he's not even getting talked about.
I mean, he's my third favorite pitcher behind Erod and Greinke. Yeah.
Okay, so you're paying up at pitching. It's going to be interesting when we get to bats.
Yeah, I'm happy to do so. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6 games at 5 runs or higher. A 7th, which is one of my favorite stacks, at 4.9. I'm sure there are plenty of cheap bats on those 7 teams that'll let me fill that out as my one-offs.
Yeah,
I'm confident in that.
My exposures are really concentrated right now for a 7-game slate. Bats and pitching.
Like Todd Frazier, Dom Smith, Wilson Ramos, Ahmed Rosario. 2-2-4-2. That's their ownership on DK. Okay. I'm there. I'll ignore the Cubs for right now. Blue Jays. 2% to Biggio, 5% to Gurriel. Like, even Grichuk and Guerrero are 8 and 12. That's basically unowned in comparison to the Cubs. I think there's just a lot of spots where people are going overlooked to get 25% of the Cubs in their lineups. And if that means that I can pay down, if I'm not getting the absolute best piece of one of these high-run stacks, and it allows me to get to Clayton Kershaw instead of Drew Pomeranz, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
We'll see. Look, it might shake out that Drew Pomeranz drops 18 and the Chicago Cubs hit 12 home runs in Wrigley, and I look like the dumbest person on the planet. I get why they're that owned, but just in a play of trying to get different, the Pomeranz piece stands out to me easily. The Cubs piece stands out to me easily. And the Cubs one seems to be standing out based on looking at that top stacks article that we have. Pomeranz, not so much.
Yeah, the Cubs, I mean, there's a glaring red spot next to their name.
Yeah.
For me. I color code it nice in my Excel sheet.
Smart.
So green means go. Red
I can respect that.
Yeah, I know you can. Red means maybe take a second look. And I mean, this is the biggest number I've seen in terms of a team going over-owned for the entire season. Probably the biggest number we'll see all season for like a decent-sized slate like this. So it's just, I mean, they're doubling up. Their ownership share on DK is doubled up compared to their chance of being the top stack. They're not even the top. They don't even have the best chance of being the top stack tonight.
Right.
And they're getting owned like they are like an 8 implied total in Coors going up against Austin Bibbins Dirk. You know, it's like
way to pull that name right off the top of your head.
He was like the worst pitcher I could get out there.
New Diamondbacks lineup, by the way. Vargas got scratched. I don't think that's changing anything for you. Just wanted to let you know that there is, in fact, a new lineup.
So now is it LeCastro or
Nick Ahmed is in there, I believe now.
Oh, God. Although he had a little stretch there where he hit lefties okay. Maybe he still does. I'm not sure.
We're still waiting on the Dodgers lineup and the Rockies lineup. Are either of those lineups important to you?
Maybe the Dodgers a bit. Jock, Verdugo, and Turner look pretty decent as far as values. And then you've got an overpriced Bellinger who's going to go under-owned. Same thing with Muncy probably. They're not really a stack I love, but I think they would make for a really nice 3-man as a differentiation point with like a Yankees or a Cubs stack.
I just got the question, who do I prefer between CC and Palm? The answer is CC.
Turn the show back. Yeah, tune the show back like 20 minutes.
I'm very interested in this Dodgers lineup just because I expect to have a very, very large amount of Zach Greinke based on the current lineup. I'm terrified about that now after I saw Alex's projection. He has Greinke projected lower than Drew Pomeranz, so it's making me feel not great.
He does, but I will say that when I filtered out everything, I still got to 20% Greinke. Okay. So like, yeah, he's a little bit lower. What's the point differential? Is it like within a point?
0.6.
Yeah, okay.
But twice as much ownership going to Pomeranz. Now, obviously, I know why Pomeranz is 6,300, but I just want to flip flop those ownerships.
A couple cheap bats go off, and that's your only like difference. I mean, I'd rather have Greinke, at half the ownership than Pomeranz. Right. So it's just going to be pitching just doesn't matter to me all that much unless there's a clear misprice. So
I guess we're looking at this very differently now because pitching matters a lot to me, but not so. What's the best way to say it? I am more confident in projecting a pitcher performance than I am a hitting performance.
Agreed, but so is everyone else.
Right. So I am comfortable. Well, then that makes me really curious about rostering Drew Pomeranz 37% of the time, but that's neither here nor there. I just think that it's easier to differentiate at bats and play the pitchers that are more consistently good than to do the opposite.
I think you play more cheap bats in general than I do.
Yeah.
I pay up for bats as much as possible where it makes sense. Even if I'm trying to get these bad, worst value guys in, like Alex talks about. I just think that, and you probably are getting in a bunch of those guys too, but
yeah, once I run a crunch, we'll be able to talk about this a little bit better. I'm going to try to wait out that Dodgers lineup just because of Greinke. I don't really care at all about what comes out in that Rockies lineup. I'm certainly not rostering the Rockies with any sort of volume, and it's not going to suddenly make Drew Pomeranz look like a world beater. So,
what if Arenado's out of the lineup? Then what?
Then I still don't play Pomeranz all that much, I would guess.
Yeah.
He's 1/9 of the equation.
He's really good 1/9 though.
Oh, he is. Yeah, he is. But it's not like Drew Pomeranz is suddenly going to be incredible. How much would the run total move? Like a 1/10 of a run?
Yeah, I guess it wouldn't move that much.
Tonight is pay up for Dong's night. If everybody thinks it's pay up for Dong's night, maybe it's not.
Well, people don't think it's pay up for Dong's night. They think it's pay in the mid tier for the Cubs. So you're paying up. I mean, it is pay up for Dong's night for me. Maybe Dong's, super expensive guys in the 7 spot, maybe against a guy who can't miss bats.
We got a question. Do you have any interest in Arizona stacks? I don't have any. They're probably my least favorite team.
Yeah, I mean, Kershaw's still really good.
Yeah.
Not Kershaw, but yeah, I'm not seeing really any exposure. There's a clear cutoff point of teams I'm playing tonight and teams that I'm not. It's usually a quick, a steady decline in my exposures, where I'll get 20 guys between 14 and 6%. Tonight, it's not like that at all. It's a really big drop off for a shorter slate than what we were talking about 15, the 15 game on Friday. But
yeah, I'll basically have no Rockies, Diamondbacks, or Giants. Rockies might creep up a little bit just because of just having the leverage piece, but they grade out really poorly.
What about Royals?
I actually had a conversation with Adam about them a little bit earlier. They're a team that I'm going to end up probably 2 to 2.5 times the field on. And so much of that is just simply Adam Plutko is the guy on the hill on the opposite side.
Yeah.
And they're unowned. They're completely unowned.
And weather. So I think people, there's been a weather concern all day. Yeah. It actually looks good right now as far as that game playing.
Yeah, and for hitters, I essentially don't care.
Okay. Well, I think I'm going to play that game. Right now, we've got it at...
Still 5%?
0%.
Bingo. Well, then I think you're going to play that game for sure.
I believe I'm going to. So that's probably a good time for me to start crunching. What about Dong picks? Should we do those quick?
Yeah, let's get Dong picks out of the way.
You want to
get one right? I picked Alex Bregman yesterday. Turns out I just needed to pick basically any other Astro. I think they had 5 dongs. So that's great. Oh, wow. Jalen Rose tweeting at Paul Pierce
Saying what?
about toilet paper and how Paul Pierce crapped himself in the playoffs. It's really funny. It looks like a sponsored tweet for Charmin, but it's still funny as hell. Alex just retweeted it, actually. Okay, so dong picks. I had Alex Bregman yesterday. That sucked. I assume Moose Tacos didn't homer, or Eric would have tagged me in something. So here's the current list, same as it was yesterday. Emac at 14, Jake at 13. Congrats on the Nomar Mazara double dong. Chris at 12, and I am at 11, bringing up the rear. And I'm not going to lie, I'm disgusted.
Yeah. Giant. Oh, wait. Giants lineup's out. We've known that. Okay.
Don't get me excited like that, man.
Yeah. I got an alert from FanDuel, 15 minutes later. Brandon Belt leading off. All right. Well, that really matters.
Wait, is that a fake Tom in here? Are you guys concerned with Royals weather, or is that actual Tom prompting us to talk about Royals weather?
I don't know. I think that's actually Tom's account, but because I've seen him from Tom Kennedy and then Tom JK, so maybe he's just signed on.
Yeah, I can't figure it out.
But we can talk about it.
Yeah, I mean the answer is no.
I'm not concerned. Yeah.
That's why we have the postponement risks in the projections.
Yeah,
that's why we follow Awesome Weather at Awesome Weather.
That's right. I will take
dong pick is up to you now, man. You've got the full board.
Gleyber Torres.
See where we're coming in here. Gleyber Torres.
Probably not very high because he's batting 7th.
41.
Ooh, that's way higher than I expected.
I mean, there's only 118. So.
All right, we're in the top half.
Alrighty. Where do I want to go here? Seems cheap to take someone like Schwarber, so I'm not going to do that. Oh, man. Is it cheap to take a Brave?
No, you can have a Brave. I took a team, I took a guy from the highest implied total team, so I am in no position to judge your home run picks.
Okay. I will take Acuna.
The guy leading off, though. I mean, come on.
Okay, come on now, man. That's why I asked.
No, you take it.
Okay. He's
Acuna
11th in my model, so it's not like I'm just cherry picking the top.
Yeah, that's a really good pick. Yeah, I like it. So maybe you'll get out of last place.
Now I still don't know if he's trolling us or not. He said, this is my burner account, just not very effective with my name. That could be fake or real.
No clue.
Damn, man, just DM me in Slack.
It doesn't matter anyways. It's not like he's doing anything bad.
No.
Yahoo Cash, Javi Baez and Chris Bryant, or Lindor and Jose Ramirez. So just raw points you're looking for?
I mean, it's got to be Baez and Bryant, right? Unless Lindor and Ramirez are priced in like a really, really weird way.
I think it's...
okay, so I've got it here. Baez and Bryant. Baez is $13. Bryant is $17.
Well, price doesn't matter, though. If he's just talking about a 2v2 for cash, you just want raw points, right?
Well, it depends if they can't fit or not, and the cheaper guys are, off by 1/10 of a point. Lindor is 19. Ramirez is 12. Yeah, I mean, the answer is just Baez and Bryant. With Yahoo, it's weird because if Lindor and Ramirez could have been like $9 and $10, and Bryant and Baez could have been 24 and 26. So like their point per dollar would have been like monstrously low. You never know with the Yahoo prices.
Yeah.
Sometimes dudes are just like oddly single digit prices. So I wanted to make sure that one of those guys wasn't like at $7 and then they really are like an incredible value.
Okay. Makes sense. I think I would go with Bryant and Baez.
Yeah, I think that's a no-brainer answer today.
Oh, I don't think it's no-brainer. I think it's close. But with my cash lineup, on DraftKings. So you're just looking for raw points.
Let's see.
Scoring is similar. I took Brian Baez.
20.1. Yeah, I'm probably saying that it's a bit more obvious than it is.
I mean, your cash 2v2s and 1v1s are going to be,
they should be close.
Yeah. If it's not close, then, you've already got your answer.
Yeah. Ooh, that one's interesting. Oh, man, I totally forgot about this. AO Rhino said Lester no-hitter tonight, and I totally forgot that EMAC called the DeGrom no-hitter yesterday on our show.
Yeah, he was close, right? I mean,
I didn't even look at the final line, but I had like 80% DeGrom, so I would have been really happy about it.
I think I heard that actually. But I did not have much DeGrom, so I was rooting against that pick by EMAC.
Can we seriously please just get a Dodgers lineup? I don't think that we're asking for much. So let's talk about stacks a little bit, I guess. We've touched on everybody at the top. Is there a team that you're fading other than the Cubs that seems to be picking up some love?
Team that I'm fading?
I mean, like that you expect that you're going to be underweight on by something sizable.
The Braves I was getting underweight on just because all that expensive exposure for me is going to Gary Sanchez and Torres and
gotcha.
Stanton's not really expensive, which is another weird one, but yeah, it's just like anyone not named, like any non-Yankees, I'm probably getting a little bit underweight on in the top tier. Like a little bit underweight on. Like I'm still getting a lot of Donaldson. I'm getting Acuna right at the field, I believe. So I'm going way more underweight on the Cubs than the Braves. I'll put it like that.
Okay. Yeah, I expect to be pretty close on the Braves, half under on the Cubs, over pretty considerably on the Mets, the Phillies, the Blue Jays, the Royals, the White Sox. It's just taking that big haircut on Chicago and hoping that they don't just absolutely go insane. And I'll have enough that if they do, I might have the right pieces otherwise. But having the Cubs get out of this game with like 1 or 2 home runs will be optimal for me.
For sure. And then you hope you hope the dongs are guys that
the non-Schwarber dongs.
Right. If Schwarber doesn't dong, I mean, it's a good night for probably both of us, or at least we have a chance at being a really good night. So
yeah, you're looking for the home, like a solo dong from Hayward, David Bodie, Cargo, because if Schwarber hits like a 3-run dong, that one's gonna sting.
Probably will hit with a 3-run dong to lead off, based on how bad I'm running lately.
No, he'll hit it in like the top of the 9th, down 7.
You get it because it can't happen because he's leading off. I don't think he caught that part.
Oh, I gotcha.
Like to lead off the game, I was saying.
Oh well, I hope he does that. I hope he hits a dong to lead off the game.
I really would be not pleased with that. So
so would I. It would be awful. I'm gonna have like 20% Schwarber. It would be irritating as hell.
Because then, like, no matter what the Cubs do, even if they kind of dud the rest of the game, it's like there's gonna be 4 bats in the winning lineup.
Yeah.
So scary, really scary guy to go underweight on against Tehran. By the way, did you see Chris Randone wrote up Tehran?
I did not.
Yeah, and he's been killing it on his roses of the day. So why does
I mean, he's the least owned pitcher on the slate.
Yeah,
I don't think that's right.
Why does
I'd rather have Tehran than CC Sabathia. I'd rather have Tehran than Drew Pomeranz.
Oh God, no.
Maybe.
No.
Maybe. No way. I'm on Team Randone today. Oh, give me that rose, man.
So FanDuel is showing a Dodgers lineup. Oh, well, that's probably why, because we just got one.
Nice.
Okay.
I'm really excited to enter this in and let you know the impact in the model.
Okay, so Kike's in there. He wasn't expected to be in. I don't know if Chris Taylor was expected to be in, but it's starting off with the same 5.
He was.
Chris Taylor was?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was basically Kike for Matt Beattie. and then I can't remember if it was supposed to be Barnes or Russell Martin or what.
I had Barnes. So when I update for this change, getting Kike in, this should be a very marginal adjustment. Greinke jumped. I don't know why I'm saying jumped. I don't know that yet. Greinke jumped 0.3 of a point for me. I now have him essentially equal with Erod.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's going to come down when I run my crunches because Alex's projections have Greinke lower than that. So that really doesn't matter, but in my base.
Okay, so you've got him a lot closer than a lot of people, I think.
Yeah. And again, like I said, that's going to change because Alex has Erod higher and Greinke lower, so they're going to pull apart as I run my crunches.
Got it.
That's the benefit of aggregating, everybody. Wisdom of the crowds.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I tried to build my own projections, and I did it for hockey, and that was a real pain. The first time trying to do it, thought I could do it for baseball, and then I was like, well, why don't I just use the ones on the site?
Yeah.
And that's what I've been doing for the whole season. So would suggest you guys do that if you don't want to build your own projections.
Are you happy with your hockey projections in the end?
Yeah, I mean, I had a really good season.
Nice.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure they could have been better. I'll be looking to improve them once MLB All-Star break comes along.
I was gonna say, are you excited to like dive into it?
Yeah, for sure. That was a really fun part of working here last summer. Was just like getting to do that project over last summer and not knowing what I'm doing.
Do you have things that you're looking to add already, just off the top of your head?
We are.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I've got my list right here. Actually, it'll be good.
Oh, nice. That's cool. All right, home run picks are in. I don't know. Did Emac make a pick? Because he's around.
Gary Sanchez, he said.
Oh, okay. Oh, Gary Sanchez. I get it now. All
Projections are updated right now.
Eric takes Gary Sanchez.
Is that a way Emac?
Such an Eric pick.
No, that's an Emac pick. Big beefy guy.
Eric, by the way, taking Gary Sanchez, coming in 7th in the model. Oh, it's 645, huh?
Mm-hmm. I'm starting mine right now.
Yeah, I guess I am too. I don't really care much about the Dodgers' updated ownership. Won't really affect me.
Well, don't you factor that in afterwards, anyways, in your sheet?
Yeah, but it does have a little bit of bearing in what my ownership caps will be.
Oh, okay.
But not enough. Like, I have contingencies in place where if I don't have an ownership for someone, it doesn't just come up with something wonky.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's a 7-game slate. Do you approach that any differently than you would a bigger slate in terms of setting stack rules or anything like that?
Stack rules?
Yeah, like are you playing, less 4/4s or less, unstacking a little bit more 5-man nakeds, anything like that?
Not really. Like I just take whatever the best lineups are. So I still run, 5-2, 5-3, 5 naked, and 4-3 for the most part.
We're on the same page.
Yeah.
A little bit different if this was like a 4-gamer, but at 7 games, I think that's plenty.
Right.
Yeah, time to start running these crunches too. Hopefully this goes a little bit better than it did. What? When did we do our last show? Friday?
Friday.
That got dicey, man.
Yeah, that was not our most fun show, or probably our most entertaining show, but I think maybe it was entertaining to some people just because they got to see us kind of struggle through that on a time crunch.
It wasn't fun to me, man.
It wasn't fun to me either, but maybe some people appreciated that. Like, it's not all fun games.
No, it's not just like this magic elixir where you just tap a button and you have whatever you want. Like it gets scary, man. And that's not entirely sure, like, if you're going to be able to get in everything that you thought you could. It is not. It makes you feel awful.
For sure.
It really helps to have like a good placeholder set, which we've been talking about a lot lately. Make sure you're going in there and making your placeholders be late lineups, so you can switch out to anything you need if you run into that kind of issue.
That's the key thing. It's just, even if you don't want to fill out a normal lineup, like you can just click on select only the last 2 games and just, fire away. And then if you forget or whatever, you have a CSV problem, just at least you got a chance at like getting some solid generated lineups after lock. You can still crunch for slates that have already happened, which is nice.
All right, just started the FanDuel crunch. You started already?
I'm started on both. Yeah, I got 2 different browsers open. So
I know the feeling.
Because Fantasy Cruncher doesn't do well when you try to do it in the same browser, right? 2 different windows.
It's not the best. I do it, but I think that I'd just make up for it in my computer.
Okay.
On my previous, I would make sure that I wasn't doing both of these at the same time, but I can pretty much do everything at the same time now, and it doesn't even bat an eye. The stream, 2 Fantasy Cruncher things, Excel sheet, it all shakes out pretty well for me. Anything interesting coming up preliminary-wise? Things that you didn't expect to see rising to the top?
It's just going to be interesting how much of the Yankees I get now with Cleveland bats back in play for me. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. Like I know I got like 1% Lindor when I factored in the postponement risk. Man, I'm not getting really any Lindor right now. Is that
7-game slates are the best? Fantasy Cruncher's moving so fast.
I know. It's magical.
It really is.
Oh, I got this game unselected. No. All right, I got to recrunch.
What'd you do? Oh, you had that game still not selected?
Yeah.
Ownership is out.
Okay. Well, while I'm waiting for that.
San Francisco, Colorado, low-scoring game. I hope it's low-scoring. I hope it's like 5-4, just enough to kill Pomeranz.
If it's 5-4, I might have some issues there.
Hayward is my only play for the Cubs. That feels like not enough Cubs. And I'm saying that as someone who's trying to have less Cubs.
Did you say Hayward is highest exposed?
Hayward is my only play for the Cubs. That was a comment from chat.
I mean, even Hayward could probably get one out in this, 20-mile-an-hour wind blowing out.
I don't know. When's the last time he hit a home run? When he was in Atlanta?
Guy's trash. I don't know.
Breaks my heart.
Yeah. Cubs thought they were, as they say, light years ahead of the league, signing that guy for $180 million or whatever.
I would have gave that same contract to him as a Braves fan, so I can't really say anything.
I don't know. I mean, he just lost his power, lost his ability to do anything productive besides, from a hitting perspective. For fielding, he's been phenomenal forever. So that's like one thing that people don't realize. They just look at his, slash line, and it's like,
oh, he's one of the best defensive players in baseball,
for sure.
Or at least was for a stretch. Starting to get older now.
He's still kind of up there. As recently as maybe last year. I'm not exactly sure about this year.
I mean, he was just nasty there for a stretch. 210 ISO in 2012 for the Braves in a full season, only missed 4 games. Swiped 21 bags that season, hit 27 dongs. He was one of the best players in baseball that year overall, between defense, power, speed. He had everything. I'd have gave him every single cent of that deal.
5-tool player.
He really was. And then all of a sudden, somebody broke in and stole his tools.
Yeah, a couple of them. Still got a couple of them.
Yeah, it's just craziness.
Okay, what's going on in YouTube chat here? I'm just gonna need to remove this person because
what happened?
Just random. It's not like abusive or anything, but we're just gonna put this person on timeout just because. I just.
If you're mad, it must be bad.
No, it's not bad. I'm just like, I keep seeing the person's name, and then it's like he.
That's really weird. I've got my crunches done.
Your wife is also in the chat, apparently.
Yeah, I saw that. It's not really her.
I know.
She's been in from time to time.
What?
It was more. Why? It was more last year than now. She just doesn't really give a shit. But she would come in and troll a little bit. Yeah, me personally.
Just too big. You're just too big of a celebrity now. It's kind of lost the appeal.
That sounds reasonable to me.
Yeah.
All right, I'm refreshing my DraftKings sheet to start, since that one will be a little bit more interesting. Oh man, I have a feeling I'm going to be saying some really, really silly numbers to people. So, DK in, sheet is saved. We still have 12 minutes. I've got plenty of time. First draft here. 29% Clayton Kershaw.
Oh, okay, that's
9% John Gray. So
9%.
flip-flopping those guys.
Okay.
30% Erod. 59% Zach Greinke.
Wow. Okay, so I mean, you're already different. Like the bats probably don't matter for you that much.
I'm very different right out of the gate.
Like a
I have a ton of Cubs, ton of Mets, ton of Phillies, ton of Blue Jays. I'm light on Braves and Yankees right now, so that's going to be my first tweak to pull those numbers up.
Okay.
But I'm happy with those pitching exposures because it's going to create unique lineups for me.
Yeah, I mean, and unique lineup. Like you're not just taking, it's not like you're just heavy on Sabathia, whereas like you're still going to have the same lineups as all the Pomeranz people if you're playing on DraftKings because it's just a matter of a few $100s. Like you're heavy on a guy that's almost 2K. Yeah, 2K more expensive than Pomeranz. So yeah, you're just going to get different lineups right off the bat, which is nice.
I am feeling confident for tonight.
Yeah, you're taking down that big $10 on DK.
One can only hope. I'd rather take it down on the days where it has the terrible payout structure, but I'll take it either way today.
You will not be able to complain if you take down 20.
I will not be mad in any way, shape, or form.
The only person that could complain about that and be like, yeah, all right, is like Alex.
Right. No, I'm not going to be mad about that at all. 150 to the Royals, 150 to the White Sox. I think I'm ready for DK already. Man, I probably need to get more Braves than that.
We got 10 minutes left, so.
And both of my crunches are done, so that's already helpful. Yeah.
That is very helpful.
Looks like the Mets are going to be the team I'm most over the field on.
Okay. That's I mean, yeah, you're going to be different all over the board.
Yeah.
So
I just need one of those to catch, Are you seeing anything standing out for you right now?
FanDuel and DraftKings crunches are almost done, but I got a lot of Lindor and also a lot of Jose Ramirez and Plutko. So I'm interested to see once I filter out everything, how my crunch looks different. I would imagine the Yankees are still my heaviest stack by a good margin, but I would imagine Cleveland has snuck up there quite a bit and probably knocked the Cubs down even a little bit further for me. From a full stack perspective, I'm still going to have Baez and Brian, Schwarber, and Rizzo and, all the bats, but just sprinkled in rather than full stacked.
Sure. All right, let me grab. Have you finished your FanDuel crunches or anything yet? Do you know where you're standing there?
FanDuel crunch. Wow. So before filtering anything, I got 43% Erod. I think I was getting to around that number when I did a dummy crunch earlier, right before the show. So would expect to get just a massive amount of Erod on a one pitcher site for 150 lineups, but kind of okay with that. And then I think still going underweight on the Cubs on FanDuel. They're just so over-owned relative to their chance of being the top stack. Good value, of course, but not crazy about the Cubs when you've got the Yankees sitting right there with a half-run higher implied total and less ownership.
I think I just froze my Excel sheet.
Is that catastrophic?
It shouldn't be, but it's all about how long I need to wait to redo everything that I just did.
Okay, well,
I already have the crunch file, so it's not everything's just going to go right back to that spot. I saved after I loaded DK, but I'm going to have to remake my tweaks.
Oh no, did I put ownership in? I gotta filter in the ownership here.
See, you and I are struggling lately. I feel like we haven't had these problems before.
We're just getting awkward timed lineups.
That's true. Any questions coming in? Any preference between Kingery and Acuna?
Acuna.
I agree, by the way.
Yeah, that one's not very close for me.
Same. All right, view, new window.
60. All right. So I'm eliminating my top 60 owned lineups tonight.
Top 60?
So 60 out of 600.
Okay.
So top 10% of ownership, total ownership in the lineup.
Gotcha.
Right now, let's see where I'm at. FanDuel exposures. All right, here we go. 51% Erod. My highest owned player right now is Francisco Lindor at 52. Ramirez at 46, and then it's just a bunch of Yankees, but also like Bobby Bradley up there, like all Yankees and Cleveland bats. Wow. And then the Cubs third stack, but whoa. I wonder if I messed something up. I don't think I did. Here, I'm just going to weigh projections a little bit more and see if that changes anything. Maybe I had too much emphasis on ownership. Yeah, that looks a little bit better.
You good now?
45% Luke Voigt is my highest owned player on FanDuel.
No problems there.
That's
you know the man, unavoidable.
Yeah, I should have taken him for my home run. What am I thinking?
But you can change it if you want.
No. Torres is my guy. He's like the guy I think I'm most overweight on the slate.
If you want to go to unavoidable, you can have him, man.
No. I got to stick to my guns.
Okay.
Torres will stick.
Okay, just checking.
No, I know. I'm not above switching my pick.
Okay. Just checking. All right, I have my DK lineups ready to go. So I'm just going to get those in since DraftKings is a much more important site today for me.
It is for me basically every day, but not as important as Yahoo, of course.
It's live before lock. You don't have to be the total company shill today.
Actually, I made my Yahoo lineup is a Yankee stack. So just all over the Yankees.
As you should be. They're a fantastic play today.
And they're even more underowned on there when I made the lineup earlier.
All right, cross your fingers that this upload goes in because I'm not confident. Kingery all day over Bryant. Would you rather have Chris Bryant or Kingery?
Chris Bryant?
Yeah, same.
Is that Sean V?
No, it was not. It was Kicks
I
good.
Sean V saying that earlier he said that Chris Bryant was a horrible pick. And maybe like for a donk pick, I'm not sure what he was talking about or just like a bad play today, but
of course he did.
Kind of disagree on all accounts there, even though Sean's my boy. Can't back that take.
When are we going to get Trevor Story against the lefty in Coors again?
You mean the unplayable spot?
He's so unplayable.
He did come into chat the next morning and own that one, but
well, yeah. I mean, it's really hard to not own that.
Yeah, that was a funny one. I think that was a troll. I don't think he actually believed that.
I think he absolutely believed that.
All right, well.
I haven't known him to troll. I think he believes everything he says. That's the problem in it all, no?
He's just trying to get you riled up, and it works.
It works. He does a hell of a job. It really does drive me absolutely bonkers.
I can tell. All right. DK lineups are going in. At least we've got this crunch.
Dude, I have so many Blue Jays on FanDuel.
Blue Jays?
Yeah. I think they just really work well for the price tag.
Got it. I mean, and you get leverage off CC, right? So
yeah,
maybe not that much over there, but okay. Wow. All right. FanDuel, 44% Erod, 44% Drew Pomeranz, and that is Yankees, Cleveland, Real Muto, then more Yankees than Cubs. Wow.
I don't like my FanDuel lineups at all.
Did you have any Pom?
Huh?
No Pomeranz?
Oh yeah, I never closed that the book. So 9%, 10% Pomeranz on DK, and 3% on FanDuel.
Okay. At least you got something. At least.
I'd rather have flat 0.
No.
Be much better off if I just had none.
Go Yankees tonight, I guess, is the the model for me, because I'm not going to be watching too much baseball probably with the Bachelorette on. So.
Oh, is that today?
Yeah, it's Mondays.
I have no memory of this, and you probably mention that every single Monday.
Probably, but
I just truly, it is not in my brain.
It's going to be a good episode.
Oh yeah,
they're the best in the world at the teasers. The 2 minutes after the previous episode. So I don't know. Expecting big things out of tonight. Who's your highest exposed co on DraftKings? And what percent?
Schwarber 30.
Got Bryant 31.
I have 28.
Okay. Schwarber, it's not often you play a guy at almost 25% and you're 20% below the field on a 7-game slate, but here we are. So give me that Schwarber, double, and that's it.
I hate my FanDuel exposures, and there's nothing I could do to save that.
Do I watch The Hills? No, I do not watch The Hills. What's wrong with your FanDuel exposures?
I'm kind of inverse to where I want to be. I have a lot more Royals, Blue Jays, White Sox than I want to. And I'm a little bit lighter on Yankees and Phillies, even though I'd like to be a bit higher. I'm under on all of my favorite teams and over on teams that I don't want to be on.
Okay. Fair enough.
But that's just the nature of the beast. I could have fixed that if... One, it's good to know from a construction standpoint, ways to make changes in the future. But two, DraftKings was my priority. So I did a lot more tweaking for DK than I did for FanDuel. We're locked.
We are. Nice.
I got that in right under the wire once again.
Yeah, dude, this is going to be a fun one. I guess I'll find out how my night's going in about an hour. We'll see if the Yankees are getting blanked by Aaron Sanchez.
All right, let's wrap this one up. First of all, to everybody that's still watching, to everybody that was watching the deeper dive earlier today, they got to 900 concurrent viewers on a Monday on a 7-game slate. So kudos to the deeper dive guys. 900 on a baseball show is a really big number. So proud of those guys. Use the promo code LIVEBEFORELOCK for this show. You get 50% off your first month with us. Any monthly package you choose, including packages with Fantasy Cruncher. Tom says, I'm definitely going to win everything on FanDuel. Congrats in advance. So,
is that actually Tom?
I don't know. I still don't know. Tomorrow's strategy show is going to start 15 minutes later than normal. Not because Adam's having internet issues or anything like that. I just need to start 15 minutes earlier because we have a house showing in the morning. So not 9:30, 9:45 for the 250 of you that are going to tune in for us.
Okay. Oh, I think... Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. 9:45 Eastern.
Yeah. I need a couple extra minutes.
So when you tag me in Premium Slack or tag Josh, just remember... what was I supposed to remember the night, last night? What did Josh tell us? That's what it is. Because I'm sure we're going to get multiple people asking where the strategy show is.
Oh, yeah, exactly. That's it. Best of luck, everybody. Jake, anything else?
Go Yankees. No, I'm rooting for you to take down the $10, though.
I appreciate that, man. Go Mets, I guess. That'll probably be my easiest mechanism to get there.
Nice.
We shall see. We'll talk about it. I'll talk about however I did tomorrow morning. Lineup study. The beginning of the strategy show, which starts at 9:45. Don't adjust your dials. All right, thanks, guys. We're out of here. Bye.